So today let's talk about IELTS speaking. That's one of my favorite parts. Funny enough, I had phobia for it when I wanted to write my exam initially, but in the long run, I got a hang of it, and that is what I've come here to share with you. So most people are usually scared because of some questions that they might come across when it comes to IELTS speaking. I've had many candidates that I've taught in years back ask me, what about when they ask me questions I do not understand or I do not know about? What do I do? I have a trick for you. So now talking about IELTS speaking, it's just to test your understanding and how well you can communicate in the language which you claim you understand. So when you ask the question, you're expected to give response to the question. Now for many people, they ask questions on topics they do not know, topics they are not familiar with. For myself, I was asked about space exploration, which is something I really cannot think. So I don't have so much to talk about when it comes to space exploration. But for other people, they might have interest in that topic and then they're able to talk about it, give examples, talk about their fascination about it. For myself, nothing. So now, what am I supposed to do, or what are you supposed to do as a candidate if you come across such question in the exam hall? This is what you're supposed to do. So when you ask a question about a topic you're not familiar with, this is what you do. Instead of saying, sorry, I don't know this, or you start, what some people do is that is when they start thinking deep about the question, whereby they start answering it in a way and then they start stammering, they start keeping quiet for a while, having a pause and so on. Instead of embarrassing yourself, don't embarrass your family name. Try your best to stay calm and then tell the examiner, I'm sorry, I do not have an idea about this topic. Trust me, it's the best thing you can do. But you're not stopping at that. A lot of people just say, sorry, I don't know anything about this. That would not earn you a mark. The truth is nobody's going to force a topic on you. We do not like the same thing as human beings. So if you don't have an idea about that particular topic, it's fine by them. But they want to see how well you can communicate in the language. So instead of you just saying, I'm sorry, I don't have an idea about the topic, then you can move on and tell them why. So if you're telling them you don't have an idea about that topic, tell them why. Let me cite an example of another question I came across in the exam hall. I was asked, what do people in your hometown do when they're happy? Something like that. I really cannot remember how it was phrased, but I think that's it. So what do people in your hometown do when they're happy? I go to my hometown once in a blue moon, so I don't relate with people in my hometown, so I don't know what they do when they're happy. So instead of me trying to think or start forming something in my head, then I can easily go straight to the. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to say I really do not know what people do in my hometown when they're happy because I go once in a blue moon and I rarely communicate with them. But if I'm to talk about what I do when I'm happy, the first thing is I reach out to my loved ones to share the good news with them, and also I take myself out to celebrate whatever it is that I have that is going on. So what I did there is, instead of avoiding the question, instead of wasting time, I already said I do not have an idea. I believe that was helpful. You can just follow for more tips on your IELTS exam or test preparation. So if there's any area you want me to touch or talk about, you can always drop it in the comment section.